What's up, guys? Shane here, rocking the Bruce Lee Game of Death jumpsuit. How's everyone doing? Hey, I got a question for you guys. Got a riddle. What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink? What? Hey! What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? How's everyone holding up during the lockdowns and quarantines? Everyone staying sane? Not only that, staying productive? Alrighty. What's up, guys? Olivia, where's everyone tuning in from? How's everyone doing? What's the latest and greatest? Tell me something good. I just got 2 texts from friends of mine today that they both canceled or postponed their weddings. They both had weddings in June, and even weddings in June are getting canceled. Lockdowns here got pushed to April 30th at a minimum. So get comfortable. I think it's going to be a lot of home training. It's going to be a lot of watching old fights, communicating with friends via FaceTime and Snapchat. And people still use Snapchat? Oh no, I'm just thinking yellow. All right. So today I just figured, so I'm trying to do more of these live streams during the quarantines and lockdowns, just chat with you guys every Tuesday. But as you saw in the title, I figured today we could talk about some dream fights that never happened. Fighters in their primes, deceased and living. Yeah, we could bring in some, even bring in some fictional characters or talk about Bruce in the UFC. And then we'll talk about some home workouts. I just released a new program on fightTIPS.com, an 18-step shadowboxing footwork program. No equipment or partner needed. I've been rewatching a lot of GSP fights. Tuning in from the UK, Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. Yeah, I figured that one would pop up. I figured. I was just thinking about Holyfield. I'd be curious to see him against, I feel like he always fought bigger guys. So to see him against Tyson Fury and Holyfield, I think that'd be a good one. Or Lennox Lewis against Fury. I'd like to see that as well. Shane, do a roundhouse kick. Just real quick. Prime George Foreman versus a prime Mike Tyson. Whew. Man, could you imagine the power those guys throwing? I've seen a lot of Mike Tyson. Street fights, Mike Tyson against John Jones. What do you think? Well, street fight, Jones has definitely got more in his arsenal. Got the grappling, got the kick, so I'd have to go with Jones there. 8 out of 10 times. 2 out of 10 times I see. Now, you know what? 5 out of 5. I say it's an even. 5 out of 10. More 1 out of 2. Let's split that fraction in half. 1 out of 2 times I see Tyson catching him with aggression and punches, and the other time I see Jones weathering the storm. John Jones can't be on the street right now. No, messed up again. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. All right. Khabib location. How about Khabib versus Tony Ferguson? That's a dream fight. Is that fight ever going to happen? Now, I was thinking about MMA. You know what I was thinking about? Like a dream fight or a fight that should have happened that never happened that I would like to have seen. Tito Ortiz against Anderson Silva. Think about that. That's actually a pretty good matchup right there. Prime, both of them in their prime, seeing both of those guys going against each other. You get the wrestler. You could see it similar to how Chow and Anderson went. Anderson being on his back the whole time, a lot of heavy ground and pound. But I think Anderson would have definitely caught Tito. I think his striking is just way better. But that would have been a good one to watch. And another one I was thinking too, Anderson and Lyoto. But they always said they would never fight each other. The thing is, I think they'd be too tentative. I think there'd be too much respect, just as both counter fighters and good strikers. They would never engage. GSP versus Silva, yeah. The GOAT matchup. Do you meditate or do any spiritual stuff like that? I do, yeah. New to it, I'd say in probably the past 3 years, but definitely been getting more so into breathing exercises, meditation. Yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah, I like doing a lot of breathing exercises, like starting my mornings off like that. Getting off my phone and social media. No offense to you guys. I definitely like just being in my own head. Um, and yeah, just really working on my focus and awareness. But yeah, that's something I've been working on a long time. Like even just being mindful with everything, with eating, mindful eating, going for walks, and just focusing on little things. Yeah, it's something I think kind of strengthens the brain, strengthens the mind, and it's something that if you don't work on, you lose it. So yeah, it's something that I definitely do focus on. Saenchai versus Yatsen. You know, like my ultimate dream fight of all time, if I had to pick, if I could, like any sport, any era, Saenchai against Lordzilla. If you guys don't know, Saenchai versus Raymond Deckers, yeah, that'd be a good one. Saenchai versus Lordzilla. I like both these guys. If you're familiar, most people are familiar with Saenchai, but Lordzilla is like very similar, just like super evasive. They're both Neo from the Matrix, so I think it'd be like a fight scene out of the Matrix, seeing those two fight. That's like my dream fight of all time. Um, you have any day burning workouts? Like burn the day away? Uh, Thanks for helping me beat my bully, Callum. You got it, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I saw your comment on Instagram as well. Glad to help, man. I saw something about Diego Sanchez versus Gilbert Mendez. Ooh, that'd be a bloodbath. I reckon Bukaw would beat both Saenchai and Lordzilla. You ever see? There's clips of Saenchai and Bukaw clinching, and Bukaw actually throws Saenchai around. He's taller, a little bit bigger. Um, I think if they were similar size, it'd be a more similar matchup. But I know they're like really close, good friends. They're always playing football, soccer together, and that kind of thing. You versus could be, yeah, right. Uh, Uriah Faber versus Miguel Torres. That'd be another one. I know there's a lot of people I wish Uriah would have fought. I loved his aggressive style. I loved watching him back in the day. Fearless. You have any Facebook or Twitter pages? Yeah, I'm on both. I'm on that social media game. You know that. Marvin Hagler versus Canelo. Oh, that's a good man. I mean, like current Canelo, man, is like the one fighter that you can like clearly see his evolution, and he gets better and better every time. And I think he's still not even at his prime yet. I think he's still going to continue to get better. They just announced, I don't know if it's official, but they talked about Canelo Triple G3, and Triple G is like probably my favorite boxer ever. Like I'm not like a fan of people usually, but Triple G I am. For some reason I just love that guy, but I still think Canelo beats him in the third one decisively. Um, just because I think Triple G's kind of on the descent in his career. He's just getting a little bit older, and Canelo's the opposite. Every time I see him, I just feel like he gets better and better. So the first two fights, I know they were like controversial, super close, but third one, I'd not a betting man, but I'd put it on Canelo. Canelo against Hagler though, man, it's hard to choose. I think I actually got Canelo, man. I think I do, but that's you know, we'll never know. The Dempsey roll. Someone asked if I'm familiar with the Dempsey roll in boxing, but are you referring to the Dempsey roll in Hajime no Ippo? That's usually where most people hear that from. Jack Dempsey has a lot of good books, or a few books on different fight tactics and strategies. His stepping power jab, the Dempsey roll. I think the Dempsey roll, at least where most people refer to it, is like that figure eight motion with your head, just going like bobbing and weaving this way, just kind of constant head movement, and then you can throw punches with it, or at least that's in the anime. That's how they depicted it. But yeah, I mean, rolling your head, moving your head offline. I like to think of it in a U shape. Your head should trace a U, just kind of getting underneath of shot, staying away from the center line. That's kind of combining both and adding slips with a roll. Vince says, present day Holloway versus McGregor. Ooh, I know. Man, that's a fight that we got to see. It's I don't think it will happen, which is a shame, but man, love to see them throwing down. Someone who's got a chin like Holloway, who can take the shots of McGregor too, and then just keep dishing it out. Would he out pepper him? Would he just outlast, similar to the first fight with Diaz? Or would he get sat down? Would he get put out by McGregor? Would he outlast him? Man, so many good ones. You guys got some good ones. I see a question about body tempering. What is body tempering and how can I do it? It's pretty much just conditioning the limbs, the body to be able to take punches, to, like the same way that we temper our shins. That's body tempering when we do shin conditioning. Throwing kicks against the bag, throwing kicks against pads, sandbags to the point where you don't feel the pain in your shin anymore. Your bones are calcified. So it's the same idea, but with every other part. So when you block a kick with a 3-point or 2-point block, making sure that your arm, your forearm, your humerus and the bones within the forearm, those are all tempered or conditioned and used to the impact, so you don't feel the pain and you don't take as much damage. How can we do it? Is by doing drills like that. Is doing flow drills back and forth, shin guards, boxing gloves, feeling that impact over and over again. It's a slow and gradual process. It's not something that you're going to do within a month. It's something that's going to take years. Proper diet is also super important, making sure you're getting calcium, vitamin D, protein. So yeah, that's how you do it. I mean, you get used to taking those punches and kicks to the body, to the legs, to the arms. You can't condition the head. However, I just got to stress that. A lot of people think if they get punched in the head, you see a lot of these stupid videos out there where there's coaches got their students lined up against the wall and they're just punching them in the face. And I guess their idea is that they're going to be able to take more punches, or maybe it's a flinch thing, but you can't condition the head. It's going to have the opposite effect. The more you get hit in the head, the more susceptible you are to brain damage, to CTE, and to getting knocked out. So you body temper from the neck down. All right, I'm going to go back to the live chat now. Should Ferguson take the Gaethje fight? I say no, wait for Khabib. Oh, I didn't even hear that. MMA Slam podcast. No, I didn't even hear about him fighting Gaethje. But I mean, isn't it like, aren't no fights happening right now? I know they're talking about like an undisclosed outside location with the Ferguson and Khabib fight. I don't know. I mean, the fight that I want to see, and I think everyone else in the world wants to see, is Khabib and Ferguson, especially now since it's been canceled so many times. It just makes you want it that much more. Hey, Magic says, Shane, please come back to Thailand. You know I want to, man. I can't right now, though. No traveling right now. How do I make my body straight when doing push-ups? Because my hips and crotch go down first and my chest goes up. First, I asked for help from my family, but they just laugh at me. Oh, my man, let me help you out. Yeah, so that sounds like core, even glute strength that would help with that. Let me bring, what are your thoughts on Bruce Lee? I got the Bruce Lee Game of Death jumpsuit on right now. What you think? So question about doing push-ups. A lot of people have this problem and don't even realize that they're doing it, is when you go down and do a push-up, the hips sag first, then the rest of the body. Now, it's going to be, I mean, this is overall strength here. It's a lot of core strength, but it's even the ability to be able to push up. What I recommend that you do at first is just do them from your knees and make sure that your hips and shoulders are in a straight line. So from my shoulders to my hips to my knee, you can see that black line. There you go. Is in a straight line, right? If I were to do this, then it bends. You don't want to do that, and you don't want to do this and hump the floor, right? So eventually you'll be able to do it from your toes, but do this for, I don't know, a week, doing 20 reps for 3 sets. So you're doing 60 push-ups from here. And now what I want you to do when you go to your toes is make sure that you're squeezing your butt. Flex the muscles in your butt, and that will stop this sag right here. So kind of like you feel the muscles in the lower abs and then the upper abs being activated, and that's going to lift the core. So you can just do that. So sag the hips and then go to here and keep everything tight and just notice the different areas that are being activated. Like I said, lower abs, the glutes, your butt, straightening your legs out, right? Because if the knees are bent, again, everything else is going to sag. Then from here, slow and controlled, see if you can bring it all the way down. Keep that line straight and back up. So I'd say start from your knees, build up the strength, and then you'll be able to do those good ones, and then your family will stop laughing at you. And the next time they ask you for help, then just laugh at them. No, I'm just kidding. Max Axel, of course I remember you, bro. Bruce Lee versus Colby Covington. That's an interesting matchup. Alexandru's asking why I'm dressed up like Bruce Lee. Trying to start a new fashion trend. It's a new century. New century? What is it? It's a new decade. And we're all in quarantine right now, and I don't really have much fashion influence out there right now. So I'm kind of starting my own trends. Yo, Bruce Lee, what are your recommendations for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training at home? I do all the solo drills I can, but for conditioning and strength, what should I do? Well, conditioning and strength, I mean, the drills that you're doing should be building up those things naturally. What kind of stuff are you doing? Corv, are you doing grip training stuff? I know people use stuff with resistance bands where they will tie it to a chin up bar. Let me grab a resistance band real quick. Uh, I'll just use this one. All my other resistance bands are put away, so I got this tiny one right here. So I know a lot of people do stuff like working shoulder throws with the resistance band, even just snap downs with the resistance band. Anything where you're working grip strength, back strength, hip strength, core strength, that's going to be the kind of stuff that you need for jiu-jitsu. Definitely grips. But yeah, just think about those big muscle groups, the back, the hips, the core. That's the kind of stuff that you need to develop. So anything where you can mimic movements like that, where you got the grips and you're pulling down, you're snatching, you're going over the shoulder throws, you're doing twists, axe chops, medicine ball throws where you're throwing a medicine ball or something weighted. I mean, you can go out and find a big rock in a park and just throw that thing around. Throwing a heavy bag around if you have a grappling dummy. A lot of people now are posting how to make your own grappling dummy out of like PVC pipes, rope, and duct tape, and they're awesome. Then you throw the gi on it, and then it's like you got all four limbs, you got a head, you can work your chokes, your locks, sweeps. So if you want to get really creative, you can make a grappling dummy out of duct tape. I saw some people made, I know the Gracies posted about Henner made one with just pillows and a gi. Was it Henner or was it, I forget who did it. But yeah, so get creative. What do you recommend for telegraphing? Don't do it unless you're trying to trick them. No, you're probably asking like, how do you stop telegraphing? And it's just a focus on that when you're shadowboxing, when you're hitting the heavy bag, when you're hitting mitts, when you're sparring. But my biggest recommendation is film yourself when you're doing these things, when you're shadowboxing, and just notice like the little things, like even if you're just throwing a jab and you go like that, like there's like this little flicker with the hands, or maybe you throw these circles and you only throw when it's back at the fully cocked back point. Right? It's just maybe not a telegraph, but it's a pattern that they can pick up on. You're only throwing it from back here. And try to just switch it up to where when you're circling it, you throw it up here, or you throw it when it's down. But the only way you're going to be able to recognize these things is just having a conscious focus on it. But again, use a camera, film yourself, and go, why do I keep doing that? Every time I throw my cross, I lift my hands first and then throw. Just think forward. That's what I always, in my mind, I'm just thinking forward. So see the line behind me right here? If I put my hand here, I got to just go forward. There's never a pullback. There's never a lift. There's never a shake or a pump. It's just forward. And then there's partner drills, but I'll save those for when we're actually training with partners. Can you have Ryan come back and train at your gym? I miss Ryan. That was actually another dream fight that I had. Ryan Garcia against Lomachenko. I know they've sparred before, and I think Ryan would give Loma more trouble than people would give him credit for. You know, he can catch anyone with that speed and with that accuracy. Who wins that, though? Who wins, Lomachenko or Ryan Garcia? Did you have MMA fights? I had two MMA smokers, so just in-house tournaments. Won one, lost one. Shane, do you pivot or step on the left hook? Both. I'll do both. One I call a lead hip drive or a lead hip rotation. That's where the foot's just planted and I'm pivoting the foot or not. Sometimes I don't even pivot. Most of the time I don't pivot the foot, to be honest. So if you watch my lead foot, this is when I throw the hook. So you can see my knee and hip turn, but the foot doesn't actually lift off the ground. It's not wrong to do this. I just feel I don't need it. I feel that lifting the heel is a cue to turn the knee and hip for beginners. Once you learn to turn the knee and the hip, you can do it without putting the foot down. It's safer on the knee joint, right? If I like really turn this over, I could do some damage to the knee joint. But I mean, there's already like a natural pivot there with how I'm standing. Bang. So I do it like that. But I'll also advance with the left hook and step on it too. Throw the left hook cross, or the check hook where I step out like this. So I'm throwing the hook as I step. So both. You should be able to punch and move, and you should be able to punch staying still. How do you train head movement on a double end bag or other bags? Well, one thing I like to do with the double end bag is I don't allow myself to block. I can only land with my knuckles. So I can't block with my forearms and I can't block with my shoulder. Right? How can you throw punches in the Philly shell stance? You mean with the arm low? This is an up jab. This one is actually kind of hard to see. Floyd uses this one a lot. Where if this is his resting position, Philly shell, lead arm down, protecting the body, right hand or rear hand, protecting the head, and cross. Throwing the jab from here. One thing someone explained it to me, and I think it's a little exaggerated, but it's a good way to think about it, is let the elbow lead first, and then the rest of the punch follows. So the elbow, and then you whip the rest of the punch. Like I said, a little exaggerated. It's a little more, or it's a little less of a whipping motion than that. But it's a good cue to think about in your mind. So like maybe it leads at the very beginning, but then by the time I activate all of those muscles and recruit them, I'm really getting a snap out of it. The other thing is too is like when you think about, I'm in the Philly shell stance. You should still be able to go from here to right here to like a more traditional boxing stance. So just because you're using a stance, don't feel like you're limited to just that. You can always change. Watch Floyd. Like if he's like a little bit more aggressive, both hands will come up and he'll move forward. But there's times where he'll be here. There's times where he's here. All right. So you got to be able to flow between both. You don't only train in Philly shell. Right. That's just like certain scenarios, certain opponents. So you got to be able to switch it up. Can you do a question mark kick? Best punch combo, the one that lands, There's so many different ones. Usman versus Masvidal, right? That's one that I'd like to see. I'm hoping that one happens. Always been a big Masvidal fan ever since the Kimbo days where he fought Ray. Here's that question mark kick. I got you, Richard. One step ahead of you. Do you switch on the lead leg roundhouse kicks or just throw it? Both. Yeah, usually when it's a question like that, like do you do this or this? The answer is usually both. But good question about the lead leg roundhouse kick. Let's see if I can show more from here. Still a little high. So the switch kick, which is more common in Muay Thai because we get more momentum behind the kick, we do more damage. We knock them off balance more because it's a heavier kick, is where I do the switch. I swing, I throw, I follow through, right? So I wouldn't even stop there. I'd go, follow all the way through, chopping them in half, knocking them off balance. But absolutely, I can just lift this leg and throw. A little more common in traditional arts like karate and taekwondo. Gonna have less power on it, but more speed on it. All right, so it just looks like this. I lift the leg up, turn, and snap the kick. Couple cues to keep in mind. Like I like setting this one up with the jab because I like that they start reaching with their right hand, and that leaves the side of their face open. So if I can get them to reach for it, and bang, bang, fire it off right from there. All you really do is just pull the weight onto this rear leg. Now don't lean back too much. Try to keep your head still relatively tall, but it's just bang, bang. Pull that weight back a little bit. Lift the knee high. Snap the kick. Make sure you kick far enough through, because a lot of times when we practice, we don't actually hit a target. We go like this. That wouldn't hit him, right? The bag didn't even move. So I got to turn it over a little bit more. Turn the hips, pivot on that rear foot a little bit. Actually, you know what? I don't even pivot on the lead foot. It's very subtle if I do. Sometimes I'll take a micro step out to the right with my support leg, just to get that little bit of a momentum and angle on it. Good question. What is my inspiration? My dad got me into Taekwondo originally. This was actually his. He's a Taekwondo black belt himself. We trained under the same instructor, the same school. So he was my original inspiration for sure. But you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme, all the K1 fighters, Bokal, Masato, Andy Sauer, and then growing up watching MMA. Jackie Chan probably like still to this day one of my favorite martial artists. How about you guys? What was your inspiration? Can you pick and choose which kick you do mid-fight, i.e. from Thai boxing to Taekwondo? Absolutely. I think that's the future of striking. I think it's being able to incorporate what works for you from all different styles. Just with the evolution of mixed martial arts and kickboxing in general, right? You got guys who are strict Taekwondo guys, Sirkin Yilmaz back in the day, K1 fighter. And then you got guys who are very traditional Thai, Bokal. And nowadays you got sort of a hybrid of both, right? Someone like Israel Adesanya, who's got good Thai boxing, but then he's also got that lead leg roundhouse kick or question mark kick, right? So he's got the flexibility, he's got the kick dexterity, the hip mobility. So I think, like I said, I think that's the future of striking, is being able to incorporate techniques or methods from all different striking styles. Wonderboy just posted a video about lead kicks. There you go. His channel's been awesome. Such a big fan of that guy, not just as a fighter, but now as a online instructor and YouTuber. Canelo versus Pacquiao. I think Canelo might be a little bit too big for Pac-Man. So for that reason, I'd have to go with Canelo. Of course, Pac-Man's got the speed. I want to do shadow box workouts for cardio at home, but I don't want to look like an idiot. Any follow-along videos to help with this? Well, Zane, it almost sounds like I asked you to say this. No, just 2 hours ago, we uploaded our 18-step footwork shadowboxing program on fightTIPS.com. So it's 18 steps. First one, for instance, is a probing jab. Second one is a retreating jab. Third one is a loading step. Then we go rotate the rear hip, advancing 1, 2. Then it goes down the list. So if you saw that I did that 6-step footwork pattern, we just did the. So I got a sneeze coming. I'm trying to hide it. I'm trying to think this way to do this. What's that looking? So it's all focused on footwork, and most of the time when people teach shadowboxing, a lot of it is punch combination based. So it'd be like, all right, we do the jab, now we do the jab cross, then we do jab cross hook uppercut. This one is opposite. It's focusing on all feet movements. So the first one is probing jab, then it's retreating jab, then it's loading 1, 2. Then we go stepping lead leg outside, rear leg outside, and then it continues and carries on for there for 18 steps. Then you do it again in southpaw, and it turns into a full 36-step form. Calling it a form intentionally, almost like a kata in karate or taekwondo, where you have to memorize movements and practice and get those fundamentals and concepts down, and then you can start to free flow with it. And then just like you would in a fight, right? I visualize someone in front of me. It's the beginning of the round, so I want to try a probing jab, nothing where I overcommit, just see how he reacts. Now he comes in a little bit more aggressive, retreating step, rotate the rear hip on my pull counter, so things like that. check it out if that's something. If this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, I think it's everything that you're looking for. And if you don't like it, cancel within 13 days and you get all your money back on fightTIPS.com. You're doing 14 days free during the quarantines. But yeah, the 6-step footwork pattern looked like this. It was probing jab, retreating jab, stand your ground on the cross, advancing 1-2, back pedal 1-2, switch step. Then we do the same thing from here. Probing, retreating, stand your ground, advancing, back pedal, switch step. And if you do this at 100%, you're going to get a good cardio workout in. Right? If you're punching and moving at 100%, you're doing that for 3 rounds or 3-minute rounds by however long you want to do it. You do 10 rounds, it's 30 minutes of hard work. Thoughts on Japanese jiu-jitsu? It's the original. It's what started everything. You got to give respect. Tips on joining Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, like finding a gym. Because joining a gym, what I recommend to everyone is just go in, dive in head first, do the free trial, ask questions, be a good student, and see how it feels. See if you connect with the instructors and other members there, and yeah, just dive in head first. But finding a gym, what I recommend is asking other people, checking reviews, looking at their accomplishments and history. If you're looking for competition, see how their competition team does, or how their main instructors teach, that kind of thing. So just got to do your research, ask around, like anything else. Like, how do you know if you're finding a good new restaurant? Right? You usually look up the reviews, look up the pricing, you look at the pictures, you read about their about me and how they got started. Same idea, and then use your best judgment. Who do I got? Tony versus Khabib. It's weird. Something tells me Tony. Dangerous off his back, really sharp elbows, and the main reason is just because how are you gonna prepare for someone like for Tony Ferguson? How are you gonna have a sparring partner replicate his movements? Anything that you prepare for, he's gonna come and bring something completely different to the table in the actual fight. So I got Tony winning via element of surprise, but Khabib is a safe bet. So never counting him out. Would you recommend your hybrid striking course for complete beginners? Yes. I recommend it for complete beginners, and I recommend it for pro fighters as well. So it follows a class format if you were to join a gym. Same exact way, where we give you a warm-up with it's falling. Shadow boxing warm-up. So you can go through the movements by yourself, get the, master the movements. Then it goes to a partner drill that you're going to do at a slower pace. And then it turns into a flow drill to where you're going back and forth. Then it goes live, which is not sparring, but it's kind of sort of like an isolated sparring where you have limited attacks, limited movements, so that you don't get overwhelmed, and you get to master that theme of the day. So it's all about moving at your own pace, incorporating your own style. So yes, definitely for beginners, but also definitely for experienced fighters, pro fighters, and also coaches. If you just need a curriculum to follow to put your guys through it, something that I worked on for years, and got a lot of feedback from high-level coaches. Coach K, Kieran Fitzgibbons of CSA Gym, and then all of the coaches that go there. I think last CSA Coaches Clinic there was 60 coaches. So it's a great resource. It's a great way to just pick people's brains and figure out how they make their programs. And I've been going there. I think I did 7 or 8 CSA Coaches Clinics. They do 2 a year, so I've been doing it for 4 years now. And it's pretty much my schooling. It's pretty much like my college for coaching fighters. And put it all into a curriculum, into a course, film the whole thing, and thus the striking course, hybrid striking course was created. And then Vince has his MMA IQ roadmap, which is incredible, man. Like that one really feels like a college course. He's got graphs, he's got handouts, he's got it's all conceptual based in the beginning, and then it turns into physical drills. And again, starts off with the more basic concepts, and then works up to the more advanced wall work, going against different styles, how to fight wrestlers, how to fight Taekwondo or point karate guys, how to fight aggressive people, evasive people. So it's comprehensive. And even just filming it with him, man, I learned so much. Like going into jiu-jitsu class the next day, I felt like I had leveled up just taking his course. How to throw an overhand right faster. Be more direct with it. Don't loop it. Everyone thinks overhand right and they turn it into a haymaker. Right, they're like overhand. It's more of a looping punch than a straight punch. So I need to go, but you just think about physics and not physics. What's the other one? Geometry. It's coming all the way out here. It's got a further distance to travel. It's going to take a little bit longer. Yes, it's going to build more velocity because I got all my body weight behind it. And because of that further distance, it's got more time to pick up momentum and speed. However, if you want to be faster with it, be more direct, right? So overhand just means coming over the hand, right? The cross comes down the center. Not always, but just the easy way to simplify it. If I'm standing here and you throw a right hand that comes in between my guard, that's a cross. If you go around my guard this way, we'll call that the overhand. But it doesn't have to go all the way out here and hit me. It can go this way. So the arc can be like that, very minimal. So this is an overhand, which is faster than the clothesline or the haymaker. Can you make a review on zebra mats? I mean, that's pretty much all my videos. I love it. I love their stuff. I love Powell Fisher, who's now the CEO, I believe, of Zebra. They're a great company, great customer service, and the products are awesome. You know, I put these up years ago, and I have not had a single problem. So there's my review. Shane, would Wonderboy style work in Muay Thai? Like if you were to go to like Lumpini and fight, he'd probably have some success just because it's a different look. But no, I think a lot of these guys would get keen to his style. And no offense to Wonderboy, like you asked Wonderboy this question, I think he'd say the same thing. I think he would do well. He'd catch people with a lot of linear kicks, side kicks, back kicks, spin kicks, axe kicks, hook kicks. But 5-minute rounds, or 5 3-minute rounds, I forget, of like just low kicks and clinching, I think that would I think he'd get shut down. I'm weaker than my friends, but I have a little bit better technique. So when we roll first round, I do good. Second round and third, I get demolished. How can I work my cardio and strength during the corona pandemic? So cardio and strength, running, road work. It's not so much strength. I would say it's more cardio and endurance, right? Strength is the ability to lift weight, to disrupt someone, move their body. So I would say it's more so your cardio and your endurance. So I would say do high rep things, high rep, low weight. So calisthenics, do like tons and tons of squats, tons and tons of push-ups, chin-ups, and then a lot of running. A lot of running, and all different kinds of running. Ones where you're doing sprints for 20 to 30 seconds as fast as you can and then give yourself a 2-minute rest. Then you want to do in between to where you're doing like 3 minutes of 80% speed and then give yourself a 30-second rest, and then do ones where you're going long, slow distance where you're just jogging, but you're doing it for 20, 30, 40 minutes. All right, you're going to hit all 3 different energy sources there, which is ATP, which is the sprinting. Then you got anaerobic burst, which is the 3 minutes. And then you got the 30 seconds or less, which is, the long, slow distance, which is just aerobic. But also with that in mind is it could be just your pacing. If you're going balls to the wall early in the first round, putting everything you got into it, it doesn't matter how much cardio you put into it. You still have this gas tank. And if you empty that gas tank in the first round, you're not going to be able to recover for second and third. So just start to pace yourself. You feel yourself start to get like 3/4 of the way down that gas tank. And again, this is just awareness. Someone earlier asked about meditation. These are the kind of things that I think meditation helps with, just understanding and being more aware of your body. Then you go, oh wait, I only got 3/4 left of this gas tank or cardio, whatever you want to call it. Let me pace a little bit more. Stall maybe, or just again, just don't tense your muscles up. Don't hold your breath. Don't always be going for things. Kind of just look for positions and make them waste their energy more. Can you talk about the coronavirus? Yeah, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's get real. What do you guys want to talk about? Is the nipple cripple an effective self-defense move? Is it anything like the purple nurple? I actually don't know about the nipple cripple. Sounds deadly though. Just don't get caught if you use it on someone. Love some lead leg kick dexterity. I got a video for you that's already on YouTube. Sorry for all the shakiness. Growing my hair out. It's looking pretty gnarly right now. Put my hat on. Let me put my hat on for the guy who hates when I wear my hat indoors. Lead leg kick dexterity. So look up my chamber drill. Just type in fightTIPS chamber drill, and then look up. I think I called it kick dexterity drills. So look those two up. That's what I do. Basically, just lifting my knee to my chest, and then being able to hold it there without using my hand out to the side like it's a side kick chamber. Nice bulge chain, and then repetitions, front kick repetitions. So it's front, side, round. Do the same on the other leg. Do pulses, do static holds for 10 seconds. Something where you're just really like, you start to feel that burn in your hips and you just keep pushing. You just keep grinding through. So I just want to make the lighting a little better in here. There we go. All right, so here's a good question, something I've been thinking about. How do you think the martial arts clubs and schools will work after the virus? Do you feel more people will get involved? How is the demand changing based on what you have seen in the last 10 years? Let me answer that last question first. In the last 10 years, I think there has been a huge surge in MMA, just interest in training martial arts in general. When you think about like the influences in pop culture before UFC, it was Bruce Lee, it was Chuck Norris, it was Jackie Chan, Van Damme, it was movie stars, right? And then you had like the actual people who were already training, who were fans of Bill Superfoot Wallace, Benny the Jet, and then like Asian, Japanese, Thai fighting. Like if people were familiar with Muay Thai and Samart Paya Karun and the guys out in Japan, they were probably already training. So the internet and UFC and MMA, I think, really started to blow up just interest in training MMA. People saw it for fitness, they saw it for self-defense, they saw it for confidence, people wanted to compete. So like it's the biggest it's ever been right now, right? MMA or UFC is the fastest growing. MMA is the fastest growing sport. UFC was like the fastest growing sport organization out there. And thus, all of these MMA gyms were popping up all over the place. How do I think the coronavirus affects it? It really is truly sad, but I think a lot of these gyms are going to shut down. I know because I have a lot of friends that own gyms, and I know how much it is of a struggle to run a gym, period, let alone when you don't have paying members coming in and you're shut down for months at a time indefinitely. It sucks, but I really do think a lot of business, not just in martial arts schools, but I think a lot of small businesses are going to shut down. You think about anything that has human contact, like massage parlors, nail salons, barber shops, martial arts schools, go down the list. Like it's going to be really, really rough. And then when people start, when the lockdowns are lifted and people decide that they're actually ready to come out of their house and start socializing again, people are still going to be very wary about touching people, about shaking hands, about giving. Like I just read an article about this, how like the author predicted that people are going to be afraid to shake hands and how the handshake may change. How bizarre is that? But then you think about a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school where you can only train when you're chest to chest with a guy for an hour straight. There's going to be the diehards, and then there's going to be the people who are like, yeah, it's just not worth it. I was interested in it. I thought I'd give it a try, but not right now. And then that that enthusiasm is going to die off and they're never going to do it. And I think it is going to have a big effect on gyms, unfortunately. So it sucks. It's like no one had prepared for this. No one knew this was going to happen. So no one knows how to deal with it, you know? So again, I feel really bad. I really do. Yeah, I think a lot of people have to adjust as best they can and do online training. I know a lot of gyms are doing that, and I think that's the way to go. You know, everyone's on their phone now. Everyone's got time, and most people are using their time by being on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and PS4, Xbox Live, and that kind of thing. So yeah, you gotta just get with the times. For now, at least. I've been watching your videos for 10 years and now got a video response. OMG, got you. Cayman Wing Chun, Harrison O'Neill. How do you fight a technical fighter? How do you fight a technical fighter? Manny Montez. Yes, twice. Got a couple different ways. You can be fire with fire and be the more technical fighter. Take advantage of fakes and feints, make them overcommit. Usually they don't though. So use the feints and hop on them, that opportunity that they do flinch. If they don't, then you might have to overwhelm them with aggression, calculated aggression, to where you're not putting yourself in a bad position. Yeah, technical fighters are usually the hardest to prepare for, hardest to fight against, because they are so technical. They don't make mistakes. So be more technical. Is the Dempsey roll good in Muay Thai? I'd say no. I mean, generally, right? Like there's going to be times where people will say don't lower your head in Muay Thai, and then you'll see guys duck under a head kick like this and, you know, look like Neo from the Matrix, and how are you going to tell them that's wrong? But like generally speaking, no, you don't want to be doing this in Muay Thai, because you're going to go knee to the chin if they catch on to it. Jacob said, hi Shane, I had to unsubscribe from the fightTIPS my next billing date says it's due tomorrow, and it says, sorry about that. Jacob, I'll make sure that you don't get charged. Pending cancellation, yeah, you won't get charged on your account, so don't worry about that. I hope everything works out with you and yours. I know these are really crazy, tough times, and I don't want to put you out any more than you already are. So we will gladly welcome you back when things get all figured out. All right. How to be an evasive fighter in Muay Thai and boxing sparring. Again, make them evade when you're not actually throwing something. So utilize your fakes and feints and really sell it. I love the expression "sell it like you're on Shark Tank," so that they overcommit, and then by the time they're coming back to reset, you're catching them. That would be like my most basic advice for that. Goku versus Ferguson, who wins? Now Goku versus who would be a good one. Bo Hightower, what was his with One Punch Man? Saitama versus Goku. Who wins that one? Till versus Whitaker. That'd be a good fight. I'd be really interested in seeing that karate style. Saitama. Everyone's saying Saitama. Goku versus the Hulk. Well, Goku can just stand from like 200 feet away and shoot him, right? Horizon, check out fighttips.com. I think it's a nice middle ground. If you can't get access to a gym, if you can't afford it, if you have a couple buddies that you can train with, bring them over to your house, go to a park, follow along to the drills on fighttips.com. Like I said, I teach it as if I'm teaching a class. If I had a gym and people came in, the curriculum that I put up there is exactly how I would teach my physical at my physical gym if I had one. Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia. Now, I think I'd give that to Mikey. I'd have to, I don't know. Just based on age, I'd have to give that to Mikey. How hard can you headbutt a heavy bag? Good try, Philip. Good try, bro. how to use capoeira and savate moves in MMA. Haven't trained either, but I'm sure people have made it work. How to close the distance in boxing without getting caught. Give them a threat, so a punch or a feint. Take your head offline so the target that they're aiming for is no longer there. Switch up, not just getting off center line, but getting high and low. And use the jab. Use the jab, make them respect the jab. And then last would be like bait them in to move towards you and then close off the distance, crash the range quick. All right, I'm going to go live. So if I skipped over a bunch, I'm sorry. Fight tips versus precision boxing versus expert boxing versus Jason and Johnny in a battle royale. Let's do it. Down. We'll be live tomorrow. Now I'm going to do Tuesdays. I'm going to go live on Tuesdays with you guys. And I'm sweating in here with the Bruce jumpsuit. What is that? There's a chocolate bar. Melted chocolate bar. I don't know where this is from. Jeet Kune Do. Made in the USA. Wash in lukewarm water. Enjoy pride. There you go. In case you were wondering how to wash your Bruce Lee jumpsuit. Any tips for first ever boxing amateur fight? Get your cardio through the roof, better than you ever thought you can get your cardio, because you're going to get fatigued. You're going to go into round 2 or 3 and be like, what? Shane warned me of this. I'm even more tired than I thought. I've never been this tired before in my fight. So just be ready for that and get ready to push through. It's a mental game. It's proper preparation, of course, so make sure you're doing your road work, sparring, heavy bag, again, going balls to the wall. Actually, just learn. Anyone know where balls to the wall came from? It was the fighter pilots in World War II. I think like their throttle had a ball, and when it was like when you want to go as fast as possible, ball to the wall. I think that's what it was. It was something similar to that. So it's not like when you think about balls to the wall, you're like, wait, what is that? What are you saying, Shane? So yeah, cardio and use your jab. Use your jab. And amateur boxing, it's about who lands more punches. So throw, but pace yourself. All right. Make him overcommit. Catch him. Be first, be last, be gone. That's my advice. Be first, be last, be gone. Be first to land, be last to land. Don't let him hit you. Where's your beautiful husky? He's inside right now, napping. I do not watch modern martial artists. Familiar that he's a YouTuber, but to be honest, guys, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I upload, I'll do these live streams, but I'm almost never on YouTube. It's funny, I have Marie's cousin, Thomas. Shout out to Thomas for being here, bro. Every time I see him at family gatherings, he's like, "Did you see whatever was in the news?" He told me all about the KSI Logan Paul thing. I had no idea about it. But like anything that's going on in YouTube news, I know just because of Thomas. So I don't follow. It's not that I dislike anyone. It's just that I really am not on it. All right, guys, I'm sweating. How did Thomas Shelby trying to get recognized? Good try, dude. Loser. Could you talk about making my Muay Thai knee strikes point forward when I throw them? I often have issues pointing up. Gregory, great question. So let's talk about knee strikes. We'll take a couple more questions and then we're going to be donezo for the day. So you want to think about your knee not scraping someone's belly, right? So a lot of people do this and they throw groin strikes instead of penetrating the knee forward. You want to think about shish kebabbing someone. You want to think about going through the stomach, through their knee, or through their spine with your knee, and then back out. So the way that I do it is I lift my elbows up, so my arms go up above my head, almost like I'm trying to grab the back of my head. So I go back here, and then I lift the knee up, and then I jut my hips forward. So it comes up and out, almost like it's 2 motions. If you were to practice it, you could practice in slow motion by going up and out. So the knee comes to here, and then the knee goes forward. But when you actually make it one fluid motion, it looks like this. Bang. Right? Bang. Now this hand usually grabs the head or grabs the forearm. This hand can stay up, or this hand can also assist in grabbing the forearms. So you really just got to get that motion down. Go up to the ball of your foot on the support leg, up, and then jut, bang, the knee forward. Bang, bang. Also notice how I tilt my knee. So I come up, bang, and I tilt it out a little bit. Heel still comes back towards the butt, but it goes out. Bang. So just like a punch, I corkscrew the punch, right? Corkscrew it, corkscrew. All right. Oh man, top 10 favorite fighters, pound for pound, active today. That's tough, man. I'm usually not good at that, being put on the spot, because I don't get like emotionally attached to fighters, so I'm not like a fan usually. I like everyone as a fighter because I can always learn from them, even if I hate them as a person. So I don't really have favorites, honestly. I'll tell you, like, currently who I'm studying and watching is Giorgio Petrosian. Always been a fan, but like on a Petrosian kick right now. Been watching a lot of boxing, a lot of old school boxing too. I've been watching a lot of Holyfield. Yeah, but it's one of those things where like I don't know, I'll get on a kick with someone and just like study their fights. And every fighter ever has taught me something, even if it's something that I learned not to do because of what they did. Right. So that's honestly, like, I don't really have a lot of favorites, but there's a few. What are your thoughts on gyms kicking people out for fighting in the streets? I think it's fair. I think it's fair because it's a poor representation of, you're representing your gym poorly by doing that. And I think it's completely fair to say, like, especially if the rules are laid out in the beginning that you can only use this. In Taekwondo, we recite that out loud, that we would only use what we learn in class constructively and defensively, never be abusive or offensive, protect myself and my fellow man. So if I were to go out and bully someone or get in a street fight where it wasn't a self-defense scenario and they kicked me out, that would be, I think, completely fair. Shane, do you often skip rope? Yeah, all the time. Rank in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm still a white belt with one stripe. Especially now, I'm missing training at the Gracie University. Any tips for training at home, Josh? Yeah, man. So we got we're gonna do a weekly MMA training regimen for you guys. So Monday, Muay Thai Monday, Tuesdays wrestling, Wednesday carries on all the way for 6 days in a row. And we got that coming for free on fighttips.com next week. We're gonna upload a video on YouTube of the first class so you guys can get access to that, get a feel for it, see if you like it. And then you go to fighttips.com and don't even have to sign up. You can just watch the videos right on there for free. So that's coming soon. Other than that, yeah, shadowboxing, running, calisthenics, yoga, breath work, all that stuff. All right, guys. Once we get to 1 hour, I'm closing it. That's in 40 seconds. You think a Philly shell as a beginner is a bad idea? I do. As a beginner, I do. Yeah. Learn how to learn like the fundamentals first, and then start to get suave. How long should you train before your first amateur fight? Like if you want like a time, I would say a year, 10 months. But mostly it's about like, you should have like benchmarks. Can you spar and last or beat someone who's had at least one fight and one win? You know, someone who's done it, then you're usually ready. So usually it's a question for your coach. Your coach says you're ready, but that's usually what he's basing it off of is how well do you do in sparring against other people who have ring experience. Shane, when are you going to compete again? I'm not. I'm just going to train others and live through that. No, I competed back in the day just to get the experience and knowledge, but I've always wanted to just be a coach. Spencer, I'm gonna leave this on the channel for about an hour, and then I'm gonna pull it down. Just because I'm gonna be doing these more and more every Tuesday. I'm gonna be doing live with you guys. All right, I'm out. I'm 40 seconds behind. Tony versus David Goggins in cardio. Who wins? That's actually a good question. It's like that Will Smith quote where he's like, if we are in a competition on a treadmill, whoever runs longer wins. Either two things are going to happen. I'm going to die or I'm going to be... I think that's both of them. They both just die. They both just run until their legs give out. And then they crawl until they just die of heat exhaustion. Fury or Joshua? I got Fury on that. As long as Fury's in... Fury doesn't beat himself, if you know what I mean. All right, guys, I'm out. Thank you, guys. Jesse, I appreciate that. Same to you. Ivan, thank you, sir. He says, who inspired you most in fighting and who influenced your style the most? Who influenced my style the most? Again, it's definitely a hybrid of a ton of different people. Of course, I'm always into clean striking, clean kicks. And again, I could say Van Damme inspired my kicks. But then like fighters like TJ, I was definitely inspired by footwork. Dominic, of course. Then like boxing, Frankie Edgar really inspired me to see like a wrestler, boxer do really well. And then of course, a lot of boxers inspired me too. Triple G, I got a lot of inspiration from. Canelo. And then fighters from back in the day too. I remember watching like De La Hoya, loved his speed. So yeah, a lot. Thank you guys. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out with me. Like I said, I know times are weird, but really try to be productive during these times. Try to keep community strong, which is a hard thing to do, but reach out to friends, old training partners, and just try to, make sure you go out of your way to make sure everyone's doing all right. Yeah, try to be productive. Because we have a lot of time and everyone keeps talking about how they're bored. You should not be bored. You should always be able to fill your time with something, whether it's self-improvement, working out, meditation, yoga, or working on something, a project of some kind, writing, reading, drawing, filming. All right. Monetize plus do more live streams in that order. What are you saying, Steven? What are you saying? No, I ain't in this for the money, bro. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Be good. And I'll see you guys next week on Tuesday. Thanks, guys.